You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
Yippee! The group of anti-heroes known as the Suicide Squad is back, and they're taking no prisoners. The trailer promises some interesting stuff to look forward to, including incredibly talented actors in this R-rated movie. As usual, the Suicide Squad does not go by the book, but they are all the world has. As Idris Elba says in the trailer, "We're all going to die." Talking about the trailer, what does the trailer tell us about the movie coming in August 2021? We checked and came up with this video here. Here follows a Suicide Squad trailer breakdown and Easter eggs you totally missed. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Who is the Suicide Squad? Firstly, do not confuse Suicide Squad from 2016 with The Suicide Squad coming out later in this year. There is no Will Smith in this new version. What we do have is Idris Elba, Margot Robbie, Sylvester Stallone, and John Cena, among others. The Suicide Squad is not a direct continuation of the story from Suicide Squad, but it still has a handful of returning cast members, including Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, and Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. Therefore, Suicide Squad is not a sequel of the 2016 film, which was disastrous at the box office, but rather a reboot upon which to base future sequels. That's also why the new movie is not called Suicide Squad 2, but rather just The Suicide Squad. Warner Brothers describes the new movie as follows: supervillains Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and a collection of nutty cons at Belle Reve Prison join the super secret, super shady Task Force X as they're dropped off on the remote enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. The only thing we're sure of is that Harley Quinn will stay exactly as she has always been. The other characters must still be discovered in terms of their personalities. Posters of some of the characters in the movie have the words "Don't get too attached" written to them, probably because they may die. These include Captain Boomerang, Savant, and the Weasel. What does the trailer tell us about the upcoming The Suicide Squad? We only have the trailer to go on now, so to figure out what to expect in the movie, we dissected the trailer. This is what we found. The end for Captain Boomerang's crew, with Savant screaming and Mungal holding onto a chopper for dear life just before we see a chopper exploding. We believe this could be the end of Captain Boomerang's crew. Some of the victims include Captain Boomerang, Savant, and the Weasel. Dr. Fitzgibbon is back. In the trailer, we see Savant, played by Michael Rooker, getting a bomb implanted in him so that Amanda Waller will keep him in line. He does anything she doesn't like, and boom. But who's doing the implanting? Dr. Fitzgibbon, that kindly old gent who looks like he wouldn't harm a fly? Why, that's John Ostrander, comic mix columnist and creator of Suicide Squad, and Amanda Waller. He's quite literally the guy who killed off at least 18 members of the squad and maimed so many more. So it makes perfect sense that James Gunn would reach out and bring John, who's a gifted actor in his own right, to inflict further damage onto these poor actors. Come to think of it, it reminds us of the first issue of Suicide Squad where John killed off an entire airport full of actors. Captain Boomerang's new boomerang. Captain Boomerang has a new glowing boomerang, which means it is new, or it is his 5,000-volt electro boomerang, or maybe even his explosive boomerang. Of course, the explosive one might be better suited for the Suicide Squad. Things that go boom and all that. Hopefully we see enough of him before he dies. Ratcatcher 2 sees Starro in his raw form. In the trailer, we see Ratcatcher 2 lying eyes on the massive Starro in his raw form. This is what she sees before Starro breaks out from somewhere. Bloodsport first look. In the trailer, we get to see Idris Elba as Bloodsport in his helmet and costume at the same time. Previously, we had only seen him in his helmet or costume, never together for some reason. Bloodsport is also seen to be one of the first to be recruited for the Suicide Squad in Argus Prison. Bloodsport also seems to be their unofficial leader. Bloodsport is also seen firing his new gun in the trailer. It's hard to tell what it is, but it could be his grenade launcher or rocket gun from the comics. What we do not quite understand is the spinning helicopter blades on the front. What is that all about? Anyway, in the comics, Bloodsport shot Superman with the kryptonite bullet. Yes, that Bloodsport. The Weasel. While we check out other characters that Waller is collecting for her task force in a high-security prison, we come upon a rather odd shot. A humanoid weasel is seen licking the glass of his cell, before realizing he is being watched and decides to stop mid-lick, instead staring into space. It is unusual and rather funny. This unpleasant unpleasant rodent is being mocapped by Sean Gunn, James's brother. Sean has been in a number of his brother's movies, most notably perhaps as Kragling in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. In the comics, Weasel, real name John Monroe, is a man who dons a weasel costume while committing murders. Here, however, we can see that Gunn has chosen to make Weasel a real-life character. While this is kind of gross, it's a welcome nod to the comics from whence he came, TDK. With the extended roster of characters, it is fair not all of them got decent screen time. However, Nathan Fillion's character TDK got just enough time for fans to get excited about his character's film debut. TDK is an odd hero to say the least, who has the ability to remove and regrow his limbs. Yeah, gross. This must come in handy, however, and why else would he be there? The character was a fan favorite in the comic books, so him being cast in the movie comes with a lot of excitement from those who read the stories. Thinker. Not surprisingly, fans got excited when they heard Peter Capaldi was cast in the Suicide Squad. Capaldi may be most famous for playing the Doctor in BBC's Doctor Who. He does not speak in the trailer, and for good reason. He is more or less being interrogated by the team that includes Flag, Quinn, and Bloodsport, with some threats thrown in for good measure. Flag tells Thinker that if he fails the mission, he dies. Bloodsport chimes in and tells him that if he feeds the team false information, he also dies. Harley adds that if he has personalized number plates or if he coughs without covering his mouth, he dies. Not true, but Flag doesn't mind adding his support to the plea to cover his mouth if he does actually need to cough. The digs at Thinker suggest he isn't a trusted member of this crew and may even infer that he might join the mission halfway through. Starro in the DCEU. The main threat within Gunn's movie is Starro, a character suspected to be involved since the early days of the film's reveal. In the trailer, someone working with Waller states that they have a freaking kaiju up here, as what appears to be a giant starfish crushes both cars and people alike before Bloodsport and King Shark give it a quizzical look. The character has had quite the comic book career, as he was both a sidekick to Batman and an early villain who went up against the Justice League. Many presumed Starro would be involved with this movie, as his fishy features were spotted in promotional images. But now that his appearance is confirmed, we can only imagine what will happen when the squad face off against this aquatic beast. We also think that the scene in which we see Bloodsport's new gun is in a fight scene with Starro, Polka Dot Man, and King Shark. Polka Dot Man is weird. He wears a costume of polka dots and can fling his polka dots as weapons. King Shark is a shark with legs that likes eating people after one-liners like, "Yum." He's voiced by Sylvester Stallone. What happened to the rest of the characters from 2016? Certain characters from 2016 are not in the 2021 movie. These include Deadshot, played by Will Smith, the Joker, played by Jay Leto, Killer Croc, as played by Adwala Akinwe Agbaje, and Diablo, played by Jay Hernandez. The characters are still around, but will not be in the Suicide Squad. Some of them may even be dead. We will have a better idea when we have watched the Suicide Squad. Maybe we'll see them in a possible sequel. What we do not know is if they will be played by the same actors by then. Where does this movie happen? Harley Quinn is rescued from a fictional island nation of Corto Maltese off the coast of South America. The story goes that during World War II, the island was captured by the Nazis. They built a tower called Jotunheim. Here, there was a lab where political prisoners were experimented on and turned into metahumans. In the modern era, however, this island fortress is home to Starro. Jotunheim literally means home of the giants. President Luna is the head of this banana republic after crowning himself El Presidente. Luna is played by Juan Diego Bodo. He does not appear in the trailer, but he exists in the comics. His right-hand man, Major General Mateo Suarez, does show up in the trailer. Opposing Luna and Suarez is Sol Soria, played by Alice Braga. It may be possible that the Suicide Squad is sent to help Soria topple Luna's government. Anyway, you will have to wait to find out for sure. The movie will hopefully be much better than the 2016 disaster. We're looking forward to some great entertainment. Until we meet again on this channel, we wish you a great time and please stay safe.